In this video, we will study about ATP. Now, what is ATP? ATP is called as adenosine triphosphate. In this video, we'll study in detail what is ATP, what is its structure, where it plays an important role, its functions, its importance in many metabolic activities. So, as we discussed, ATP's full form is adenosine triphosphate. Mean it will have three phosphates and it will have a nitrogenous base called as adenosine. ATP provides lot of energy to tissues and for various metabolic activities. So this is also called as universal currency of cellular energy, because in living beings in the cell this provides energy for all the activities, and this is found in all the living beings, so this is called as universal currency. So all living beings on earth, whether they are plants, animals, human beings, they need energy for various activities because their cells, tissues, organs, organisms, they're dependent on this energy. And this energy is available by two processes. One is by photosynthesis and second is by respiration. So green plants, they obtain energy from sunlight, and that sunlight energy is used in photosynthesis. And during photosynthesis there is a process called as photophosphorylation. Photophosphorylation is, phosphorylation mean addition of phosphate, photo mean light. So in presence of light, adenosine will be added three phosphates and lead to formation of ATP, and this process is occurring during light, so this is called as photophosphorylation. So all animals, they are dependent, human beings as well, as they are dependent on green plants directly or indirectly for their source of food and for their source of energy. So living cells use energy in various metabolic activities, and this stores energy in the form of ATP. So it is called as adenosine triphosphate. And second process by which this ATP is synthesized, that is by respiration. During respiration, there is use of oxygen, and during use of oxygen, there is synthesis of ATP. That we'll discuss in a separate video in detail. So this is called as oxidative phosphorylation. Mean addition of phosphate to adenosine in presence of oxygen is called as oxidative phosphorylation. So this ATP, because this is present in all the living being, so this is called as universal, because this is used as a source of energy. So it is called as energy currency of a cell. So ATP is called as energy currency of a cell. Now we'll discuss about its structure. What is its structure? Now this part of ATP is adenine. Adenine is a nitrogenous base. We can see here, this has two rings here. So this is a nitrogenous base, this is nitrogen, this is nitrogen. So this is called as nitrogenous base, hexagonal ring. And here we can see this is the pentose ring they have associated to form a compound called as adenine. Now this adenine get associated with sugar, and this sugar is ribose sugar. We can see this is pentose sugar, 5 carbon ring having OH at 2 points. So this is ribose. So adenine and ribose, they get associated to form adenosine, which is a nitrogenous base as well as sugar combination. This is also called as nucleoside. For what are nucleoside? I'll share a link in the description box. We have discussed in detail about nucleosides, and this get associated with phosphate group. So this is phosphoric acid. Here at this point, this is getting associated with phosphoric acid, and then another phosphate group. So this is alpha, which is at first position, This is beta, which is at second position, and this is gamma, which is at third position. And we can see here this bond, which is like this, right? This is called as squiggle bond. This bond shows that this compound has a lot of energy. So we can see here adenine and ribose have associated with three phosphates to form ATP, that is called as adenosine triphosphate. And when this has associated with one phosphate, this is called as AMP, that is adenosine monophosphate, right? And when it get associated with two phosphates, this is one phosphate, this is second phosphate, this is called as adenosine diphosphate. And when three, this is called as adenosine triphosphate. When this APPP, right, we have three phosphates. This is called as ATP, right? And when one phosphate will get broken down, right, this is called as hydrolysis, and this will get converted to ADP. And when this bond is broken, this is called as AP, that is AMP, that is adenosine monophosphate. So whenever any bond breaks, right, this releases lot of energy, and this phenomena is also called as hydrolysis. So this is called as hydrolysis of ATP for the release of the energy, right? So we can see hydrolysis of ATP releases energy. As we discussed, phosphate groups, they are removed. When phosphate groups, they are removed, this process is called as dephosphorylation. So when these phosphate bonds, they are being broken, there is large decrease in the free energy when hydrolysis occurs. So this free energy can be used for various metabolic activities. So we can define the free energy. Free energy can be defined as the fraction of total energy potentially available for external work. So whenever we discuss, like this is APP and P adenosine triphosphate, when this bond is broken, energy is released, and that energy can be used for various kinds of works. And when this bond is broken, again energy will be released, and that can be used for work, right? So this is free energy which can be used for various works. So now we'll discuss how this is happening. Conversion of ATP to ADP. So we have discussed there will be like three bonds of phosphate, and this bond is broken. So this is called as orthophosphate cleavage, right? And this process is occurring in presence of water. So water will break up this bond, this will take up this phosphate group, and this will get converted to ADP and inorganic phosphate. Like we have three phosphates, and when this is broken, now we have only two phosphate, and this phosphate will be occurring as inorganic phosphate. So free energy release is about minus 7.5 kilocalories per mole, and we represent this free energy as delta F, like this. F means free energy. Now this next is conversion of ADP to AMP. When this has been converted to two phosphate groups, now this bond may be broken, right? Again in presence of water, right? Hydrolysis will occur, and energy will be released about minus 6.5 kilocalories per mole. And now this ADP will be converted to, like here, we can make it the correction, there is a mistake. Now this will be AMP, that is adenosine monophosphate, and inorganic phosphate will be released, right? Now this AMP will be converted to adenosine and inorganic phosphate. Like we have one phosphate only. Now this bond will be broken, right, in presence of water, and we'll get adenosine and inorganic phosphate, and lot of energy will be released, and this energy is minus 2.2 kilocalories per mole. So ultimately ATP can be converted to ADP, this can be converted to AMP, AMP can be converted to adenosine, and in the total reaction, if we see total, this will be release of minus 8.6 kilocalories per mole, and we'll get hydrolysis of ATP, and large amount of energy will be released. So this ATP is mainly synthesized in the mitochondria in the eukaryotic cells. Eukaryotes, what are eukaryotes, what are prokaryotes? Bacteria and blue-green alga, they're prokaryotes, and rest other organisms, they are eukaryotes. Again, I'll share a link in the description box, differences between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So when oxidative phosphorylation occurs in, and that we'll also discuss in a separate video in detail how this synthesis of ATP is occurring in the membrane of the mitochondria, and this occurs in the eukaryotic cells. But in case of bacteria, like this is bacteria and this is in internal membrane, and here we will see respiratory enzymes are there, and this will occur in the prokaryotes, right? But in case of eukaryotes, this occurs in the mitochondria. Mitochondria is a cell organelle which helps in oxidative phosphorylation. Again I'll discuss in detail in the separate video, and then I'll share the link in the description box. So in prokaryote cell membrane, they bear respiratory enzymes and they help in formation of ATP. So during whole process of respiration, sugar molecule, that is glucose, right, that is oxidized to carbon dioxide and water, right. So glucose is broken, glucose will be broken into completely, this will be oxidized and broken into carbon dioxide and water, and during that whole process about 36 ATPs will be released, right. So that we'll discuss in the respiratory phenomena, how this 36 ATPs they are being released. So ultimately this energy may be stored in the cell in the form of adenosine triphosphate, and that can be used for various metabolic activities. Like in our home, we can store sugar, we can store salt, we can store pulses, right. So even in the when we store that thing, right, and whenever it is required, we'll take out that sugar or pulses, whatever we need, and we will use it. Similarly, ATP is stored in the cell, and that ATP can be used whenever it is required. This will be broken up into ADP and adenosine, and this will be used for various activities. So what are the functions of ATP? They are being used for various synthetic phenomena, right. Synthetic is like if some like formation of protein occurs, formation of fats occurs, sugar occurs, polysaccharides, DNA, RNA, nucleic acids, right. So during formation of various biomolecules, ATP is used, right. And whenever any transport occurs, like if we say we have in the plant's vascular tissue, xylem and phloem, right. So when movement of nutrients occurs or movement of water and minerals occur, and that is happening actively, right, for active transportation process, again ATP is required. So active transport phenomena, even in the animals or across the membranes when there is passage of minerals, right, so that needs energy in the form of ATP. Now inside the cell, this is cell wall and this is nucleus, and we can see here membrane, right, then we have cytoplasm, right, this is cytoplasm. Now this cytoplasm can move like this, right. This movement is called as protoplasmic streaming. So this movement of cytoplasm, right, when this it is moving like this, again this needs energy in the form of ATP. And if cytoplasm is moving, then cell is living. If it is not moving, cell is dead. So ATP is only active in the living cells. Then this also plays an important role in the bioluminescence phenomena. जैसे कुछ चमकता है, जैसे एक जुगनू चमकता है या कुछ और चमकता है. So bioluminescence is emission of light, right. When light is being emitted, this is called as bioluminescence. For that also energy is needed in the form of ATP. And when one cell divides into two, right, and then these cells, they may elongate, they may grow to form various organelles, organisms, right. So this helps in formation of more cells as well as in the development and growth of the cells. Again ATP is required. So ATP acts as energy pool, mean whenever energy is required, this will be available, this will be hydrolyzed, and energy will be given to the cell. Then this helps in maintaining the bioelectric potential of cellular membranes, right. Like if we see, this is a cell wall, In the cell wall is present this plasma membrane, right? This is plasma membrane. Now, along the membrane, when minerals pass, right? Supposing we have here potassium, we have here sodium, then we have here chloride ions, here we have bromide ion. We can take an example, right? So, if more positive charge is present on the outer side, so this will have positive impact, and if more negative is present toward the inner side, this will have negative. So, positive and negative, these charges, they help in maintaining an electric potential. Supposing cell needs potassium, doesn't need sodium, so potassium will go inside. So, to compensate the charge balance, sodium will come out, right? So, in that way, positive and negative charges, they are maintained across the membrane. This is called as bioelectric potential. So, ATP also helps in transportation. This also helps in maintaining this potential across the membranes. Now, what is the importance of ATP in the metabolism? As we discussed, this is involved in various biosynthetic reactions. So, ATP can be recycled after every reaction, first thing. Then ATP provides energy, as we discussed, right? For exergonic and endergonic reaction. Exergonic when energy is released, endergonic when energy is synthesized. So it is used for various metabolic processes, like we discussed, cell division, cell growth, right? Then this plays an important role in the fermentation, right? Fermentation is when anaerobic respiration occurs and glucose get converted to ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide. There also ATP is used. Then during photosynthetic phenomena, like we discussed in the photophosphorylation, formation of ATP occurs. Then during respiratory phenomena, a lot of energy is synthesized as well as used. Then formation of protein, exocytosis, like this is cell, this is cell. If something is present here, right, this may come inside, right, or this may be released outside. When this is coming inside, right, this is called as endocytosis, and when it is being released outside, this is called as exocytosis, right? So again, during exocytosis as well as during endocytosis, energy is released. When, like there is, like we have discussed in the organism sometime, like sperms, they move toward the egg, motility is there, or in the green alga, chlamydomonas, they move right from one place to another place with the help of their flagella, and this is called as motility. So during that motility, again energy is required. Then for contraction of the muscles in the human being as well as in the animals, so this is mechanical work movement, muscular contraction, again energy is needed. For conduction of the nerve impulses, our whole brain and nervous system and needs energy in the form of ATP. For electrical work, for active transport phenomena, for various biosynthetic reaction, for anabolic and catabolic activities. Anabolic is synthesis. During synthesis also energy is required, and during breakdown also energy is required. So ATP plays an important role in the all living beings on the earth. This is present in all living beings, so this is called as universal. This is also stored, so this acts as energy pool, and this is used whenever it is required, so this is called as energy currency of a cell. So ATP is called as energy currency of a cell. So this is all about ATP. Hope you enjoyed my video. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching my video.